So Gemini 3 came out a little while ago, and I've been using it to add in some various features to this game, and I'm going to be doing another test for like web-related features. So we have a tan stack start application here with a blank other route, and I want to see if we can build out maybe a dashboard page, but also the workings of a landing page. So like a nice hero banner and maybe a couple sections. I keep seeing random posts online of people building really amazing looking landing pages with Gemini 3 Pro. I don't know if they're real or not. It's probably fake, but let's just try this out. I want you to create the starts of a landing page with a hero banner. Make the hero banner have a cool animated background with a sleek modern design. And before I kick that off, let's just go ahead and like grab in, let's just take a screenshot of this whole thing. This is a pretty sleek design. It has like the little grid in the background. It's got the gradient with the, the little animations. So we're going to see if Gemini can actually do this. See the attached image? I want it to have a grid in the background with some animated particles that float up behind the hero text. Design the hero text to be for an application, or sorry, a community website for people trying to become full stack web developers. Use the best marketing lingo you can think of, and also use a cool gradient as well to make it more appealing to look at. Now, I will say the better you are at design, the better you can describe what you want. Right now, I feel like this prompt is not very good, but you know, we're going to kick it off anyway. We're not going to spend a bunch of time demoing this. I have used Gemini 3 for fixing bugs, and it's pretty good. I'm not going to lie, it's pretty good. Sometimes I'll fall to Gemini 3 Pro to fix a bug, or sometimes I'll fall back on GPT-5 codecs to fix bugs that Composer 1 can't fix. But yeah, we'll see how well Gemini 3 does with UI stuff. And if it's pretty good, I might go back and refactor my Agentic Jumpstart course, which by the way, if you guys want to learn more about agentic coding, which I've been doing for like a year or two now using Cursor and Claude Code, I have a course that I'm working on called agenticjumpstart.com. You can join the wait list. I have a bunch of videos where I teach about the basics of agentic coding, Claude Code, Cursor, and then we're going to build out an entire full stack web application using agentic coding. So if this is something that you want to get good at, which I think you should, because the industry is changing very rapidly, and getting ahead of the curve is probably going to help you in your career. And I'm not just saying get ahead of the curve for like FOMO. I've legit actually had some interviews, and companies are asking me to do the interviews with Cursor. They want to see how I operate with an LLM to make sure I actually know how to do AI first development or agentic coding. All right, so Gemini 3 is running. I will say it is a lot slower than Composer 1. But I do think that the quality is a little bit higher. It has a higher like reasoning window, I believe. Now keep in mind, I already have a tan stack start application set up with shad scene components, with a fading component that already exists in my code base. So it could be pulling some of the stuff when we see the final output that could make it a little bit better than if you were to try it on a brand new empty project. But let's go back to my other page here. I'm gonna click refresh. And this is what the output looks like. Now, I will say this looks very generic. This is a very generic looking landing page. I have seen every AI generate these little like badges at the top. We got the center align heading. We got the subheading. We got the buttons. Like this is very generic. Anyone could build this in like a couple of minutes with like Tailwind CSS. The little animations in the background, I'm probably going to prompt it to make them a little bit more apparent because you can't even notice them. And also I don't see like the grid. I need a subtle background grid. So whether you're using Composer 1 or Gemini 3 or GPT-5, like you do have to keep on reprompting over and over again. It never one-shots anything unless you're like very, very descriptive in your prompting, then maybe you can get good results. But I found that you have to keep on reprompting. So don't give up if the first iteration is not good, because iteration 2 and 3 is going to be a lot better. I'm noticing that the subtle particles that are floating up, you need to make it more prominent and make more particles. I can barely even notice them. Additionally, I don't see the subtle 2D grid in the background. Generate like a 2D grid and a gradient inside the background of this hero section. Let's go ahead and kick that off. Hopefully it can use the context of the original image that I provided, but we'll see how this kind of goes. Like I don't really see a gradient, you know? Okay, so it looks like I tried to add the gradient and increase the density of the particles. Let's just go ahead and, oh, there we go. This looks a lot better. So now we got an actual grid back here. We got some render animations. I still can't see the particles, but we do have like a little gradient background and we got the grid. So I think this looks a little bit better. Let's just go ahead and kick it off again. I still can't see the particles. Sometimes a short little prompt like this can do wonders. Like it can just fix it. All right, so let's check it out. It looks like the particles take some time to actually start showing up. But this is pretty nice. I mean, this is a pretty nice start. We can try to look through this code and figure out like where are the particles coming from. So particles, I'm gonna change it from a 15 to a 5. I think that should speed it up. All right, so this actually looks pretty good. I mean, the original image was this, which I think mine actually looks better. This looks kind of bland and plain, like it's a very, typical modern thing, but we're going to add in another section here. I'm going to take a screenshot of this whole thing, and I'm going to just ask it if it can add in one more section underneath. And we are actually going to kick off a new chat with that. We're going to go ahead and take a screenshot, and then we're going to go back here with a new chat window. We want some new context. Can you please add a section underneath the hero section, which has this mock type of panel UI component, which has like some demo graphs and charts in it. And then also have a learn more button at the bottom of the hero banner that when you click it, scrolls you down to that section so you can see it. See the attached image as a reference and make it match the existing colors of the hero section with the blue and the indigo and the purple. Also, while this is running, I'm going to make another page. I'm going to call it like dashboard.tsx. And then we're going to make another panel here. And we're going to use Gemini 3. And we're going to try to build out a dashboard page. Can you please build out a dashboard page which follows the same color scheme of the hero section inside of the other file, and make it have a nice looking left side navigation panel that can be collapsed and expanded using the existing Shadcn components. And on the right, have the actual contents of the dashboard. Try to use like a panel inside of a web page approach, kind of like the section after the hero section on the other page, so that it acts like you're using like another panel inside of the website, if that makes sense. Make sure you have at least 10 different links with icons on the left side navigation. On the right, just do a generic dashboard screen with some panels and analytics and charts. Now, honestly, I would probably drag in a reference image so it has an understanding of like what the heck I'm asking, but we're gonna just let it cook and see what happens. Okay, it looks like the other tab is finishing up, so we can go back to the dashboard here and let's scroll down a little bit. And I don't see the panel show up. All right, let's look at the code real quick. I don't see another section, so it should have made another section here. Where's the hero banner? Oh, I think it added it to my actual landing page, so I actually need to go over here. Totally did not understand what I was asking. Yeah, this actually looks pretty good. This is the dashboard. This is like the in-screen dashboard of that. I'm going to tell it added it to the wrong page. You added this dashboard to the wrong page. You're supposed to use the other.tsx file instead of the index.tsx. I'll kick this off real quick and that'll move it to the other page, but this looks pretty good. There are some little, things. There's money going off the screen, which isn't the best, but everything is actually like interactable. So it's like a component inside a component. Technically, you could probably add functionality if you wanted to inside of this, because the ability to hover over this stuff is kind of weird. All right, so we're on the other page, scroll down, we get the little powerful analytics dashboard moved over here. I'd probably even add like a light effect to the left and the right, like some type of gradient. So we can try to do that. This looks pretty good, but can you add a gradient to the left and the right of this dashboard preview section? So the eye is forced to kind of look inwards. Make the gradient be brighter from the left and the right sides of the screen, and then have it come in darker towards the center. Probably not the best description. There's probably actual like technical terms for this. Like you could do some type of like triangle gradient. I don't know. This one looks like it's just stuck. I'm not sure what it's doing, but it's still planning. Okay, there we go. Added the gradient. So this is kind of what I was looking for. I was maybe more hoping like it would, come in as a triangle form so that the eye would quickly like be able to focus in on the center. But I mean, this is pretty good. We probably just need to add like some type of divider between the two sections here to make it a little bit nicer. Could you add a divider between the hero section and the dashboard preview section so that it's a little bit easier to tell there's a difference between the sections? Right now, they don't really blend well. See the attached image for what I'm talking about of how it's not blending well? It's like it's an abrupt change in background. And then I'm going to go ahead and just like take a screenshot of this whole thing. And then we'll paste this in and just see if it can kind of make that look a little bit nicer. This is finally going and trying to build out the dashboard page. So let's see if this can kind of make some progress soon. Okay, it looks like the section divider is done. And this is kind of what it looks like. It's just like a little divider. Still not super happy with that. I'm not sure if there's a better approach. I'm not an expert designer. But I mean, this looks a little bit better. It's just like a nice little thing that breaks your concentration when you're scrolling to know that you're like, okay, I'm hitting a new section. But I guess if you were a better designer than me, you might be like, oh, this is bad. Like you shouldn't be doing this. So in terms of how this looks, I mean, I think this hero looks pretty good. I think as you scroll, the page looks a little generic and bland. And like, I think someone who had a better mindset for design and could actually like articulate what they want could probably achieve quite a lot from Gemini 3. I think this is a very, very great model for UIs, and something like this, like to build it yourself, usually you'd probably just go find a pre-existing landing page template. And honestly, that's my recommendation. Like just go find a $100 landing page template and just use it if you're trying to build out a SaaS product, instead of asking Gemini and spending all this time like handcrafting your landing page using AI. Just use a template built by a designer. It's going to look a lot nicer, and it's going to save you a lot of time and tokens as well. Although I will say that this is pretty powerful. The fact that Gemini 3 can build this out in like 1 or 2 prompts, and if you could spend a bunch of time really refining it, I think it's very powerful, and it's a really good model for a lot of the generic looking landing pages. Now the dashboard page is still trying to build out, so I'm not sure how long this is going to take. This was a decently sized prompt, so it might take a while. But now while we're at it, I haven't used like the Gemini console here. I'm actually going to paste in an image. Can you create me a YouTube thumbnail that's 720p in resolution using the Gemini 3 logo? And I want you to put some text with a red arrow pointing at the logo saying it's insane. Now, I think this is using Nano Banana for like the image stuff, so we'll see if this actually generates an image using this. And by the way, I will say all this multitasking and context switching, this is the agentic coding mindset, like having a terminal using Gemini to generate an image, using multiple chats and cursor to build out multiple pages at the same time. This is something that I'm going to be teaching in my Agentic Jumpstart course. So be sure to check out agenticjumpstart.com and join my waitlist if you are interested in having a huge collection of videos and tutorials teaching you the things I've learned along the way to become a more efficient agentic coder. Now, I will say that Gemini 3 is pretty slow. Like asking this is taking quite a long time. Also asking it to add in a dashboard page is taking quite a long time. But it's sometimes hard to know where the bottleneck is happening. Is it the actual model, or is it because I'm using cursor and cursor is throttling or causing some type of bottleneck with how the LLM is generating its stuff? All right, so here's the first iteration of the thumbnail. It's not too bad. All right, I'm gonna see how it does with a soy face. I'm gonna grab one of my soy faces that was from like the summer. I'm gonna go ahead and just export this with a transparent background. How do I even export this thing? Can you redesign this so the Gemini 3 logo is on the right and my face is on the left? Keep the "it's insane" text, but center it with the arrow pointing to the logo. And also reduce the size of "it's insane" a little bit. All right, this one's still going. I feel like it's been like almost like 5 or 10 minutes. This thing is still trying to add in a dashboard page. Now, one thing I like to do is I like to race AI just to kind of see like, can I do it faster myself? So we're going to go to Figma real quick. We're going to copy a thumbnail. And then we are going to basically take this the same soy face. We're going to paste it in here. We're going to scale it down. There we go. I'll delete this one. Get rid of tan stack start. Okay, let's actually go to the Google website. Let's grab the Gemini 3 logo, and then we're going to go back to Figma. We're going to drag this in. We're going to scale it up a little bit. Let's find some text. Do I have text in any of these? Okay, let's just do this one. We're going to paste this in here. It's insane. There we go. Do I even have an arrow in any of these things? I don't have an arrow. So what we could do is we're going to go back over here and grab this arrow. This looks pretty bad, honestly, this thumbnail that it generated. Scale this up a little bit, maybe rotate it. And I need to actually remove the background from the arrow. I don't think I can do this inside of this, so I have to like export it, which kind of sucks. Export it, and then I have to go open it up. Might reduce it a little bit, and then increase the font size here. God, I hate soy faces. All right, let's do this, and then we're gonna go ahead and just like rotate this a little bit more. Something about this, I want to center it. Okay, so there you go. There's my take on the thumbnail, and then we can go ahead and just copy this one and paste this in. And here is what Nano Banana was able to generate for us, which I think this one's a little bit better. There are some tweaks I'd probably want to do to it. Like I think making this larger. All right, so there's my version. There's some stuff I'd probably, this doesn't look great to me. Like there's still some stuff I'd probably tweak about it. This is Nano Banana's approach to it. Maybe I'll use this thumbnail, maybe I won't. But anyway, I just wanted to spend some time because it's still working on the dashboard. Gemini 3 is literally still working on the dashboard, and I have built a whole thumbnail. I've also even asked Google Nano Banana to make a thumbnail, but yet it's still cooking on making a dashboard page. But in all honesty, I'm not going to be using a soy face on my thumbnail. So let's just go back over here, and then we're going to paste this one in. And we're going to get rid of the soy face because, my God, I think this looks better. I don't know. All right, Gemini 3 is still running, and I went to check out like what the dashboard looks like, and this is basically it. So it's kind of creating like a full working implementation dashboard right here. And as you can tell, it generated all the different tabs here. We have an expandable, collapsible thing. Honestly, it probably just took the exact code from ShadCN. So this isn't, as a coder's perspective, this isn't that impressive. Because if you go to the ShadCN site, they have like examples of all this already. But without a doubt, I mean, like if you don't want to spend a bunch of time coding this stuff by hand, like you can just ask Gemini 3 to do it for you. And like this is the results you're going to get with one prompt, right? And so I would say this is pretty nice. This is pretty crazy. One prompt and this is what you're going to get. And I can't imagine what you're going to get after like, prompting it 4 or 5 times to really get it to be what you need. So that was my little overview of Gemini 3. I do think it's a pretty good model, especially with UI stuff. Like don't sleep on it, try it out, test around with it, experiment with it, and you're going to see some pretty good results for the most part. All right, hope you guys enjoyed this little overview. Have a good day and happy coding.